This week's episode of Monday Night Raw opened with the huge, heartwarming announcement that Becky Lynch is trading in the man gimmick to become the Ma, because her and her real-life fiancé Seth Rollins are expecting their first child. But because wrestling during a worldwide pandemic while pregnant isn't the safest idea, Becky's news was bittersweet. Yes, she was off to start a family, but that also meant she'd be leaving WWE for an extended period of time. Almost definitely the rest of the year, so she'd be relinquishing her Raw Women's Championship, making that two Irish-born champions stripped of their titles because Seth Rollins works too stiff. Becky revealed that Sunday's Money in the Bank match was actually to crown the new Raw Women's Champion in her place, which would have made it super awkward if King Corbin really did unhook the briefcase, news which PW Insider reports asking you nothing about in advance, with her ensuing reaction and emotional embrace of Lynch all 100% genuine. There are just so many feels here. But while this is some wonderfully heartwarming news at a time when there's not much of that to go around, WWE is now faced with one of their biggest stars on a lengthy hiatus from the company when they need star power more than ever, with big names like Roman Reigns off for the foreseeable future, also because of family reasons, with his wife giving birth to twins in March, and Raw, SmackDown and NXT ratings hitting record lows week after week. And if Becky is stepping away from WWE while pregnant, it's also assumed that'll take out another top star, as Rollins will likely opt to take care of his fiancée. Thankfully, WrestleTalk.com's Louis Dangoor is reporting exclusively there is no heat on either Becky or Seth backstage in WWE for deciding to have a child. In fact, everyone within WWE, including Vince McMahon himself, are very happy for the couple's news. And while Seth will be on TV in the immediate future, there is said to be no pressure on him to continue wrestling as Becky's pregnancy progresses, especially considering the heightened risk from travel during the pandemic. Before we get on with the rest of the news, I just want to say a huge thank you to this episode's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene, and they've changed the culture with their Perfect Package 3.0 Essentials Kit, which includes the cordless waterproof Lawnmower 3.0 electric shaver, smooth, with skin-safe technology to prevent getting busted open hard way, safe, and the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, dry. And then your balls can look like a pair of Andy Datsons.
Hey Ollie, what was it you want to talk about?
Your head looks like a giant bald testicle.
Oh, right.
And if you become a subscriber using our special code WrestleTalk, you get even more, with replacement blades delivered to your door, 20% off, and not just one, but 2 free gifts when buying the Perfect Package kit at manscaped.com, the Shed travel bag, and a pair of Manscaped's high-performance anti-chafing boxer briefs. And if you're in the US, Canada, Australia, or the UK, you can also get free international shipping. Please click the link in the video description below and at least check out Manscaped, as it really helps support us here at WrestleTalk and my big hairy balls. Your balls will thank you. Say thank you, Andy, because you look like a big ball.
Thank you.
Becky has revealed more details to People magazine, where she said her debut baby will be called up to the main plane of existence in December, and that she first found out she was pregnant in April. Her and Seth plan to marry at the end of this month, but presumably because teaching grandparent Zoom is impossible, they've postponed the wedding until after the pandemic passes. As far as when she'll return to WWE, if at all, Becky said, "I don't know what the next chapter is because I only know what it's like to think for myself when I'm by myself. So I don't know what it will look like and how my priorities shift and what I'm going to want in the future. So everything's open." WWE might be hoping someone can announce they're pregnant every week, because Raw saw its best rating in over a month thanks to the news, up over 200,000 viewers from last week's record low to 1.92 million. That makes it the most watched episode since the post-Mania Raw, but unfortunately still below the worrying 2 million viewer danger zone. As seen on Monday's Raw, WWE are scrambling to turn the ratings freefall around, reintroducing last year's Wild Card Raw with the new cross-brand invitation name and bringing back big stars like Edge, Randy Orton and AJ Styles ahead of schedule. But they just let one of the most noteworthy legends on their books slip away. Pro Wrestling Sheet has revealed Sting is no longer under contract with WWE, which was first hinted at in a statement from toy manufacturer Mattel. Due to circumstances out of our control, Sting needed to be removed from Legends Series 7. We'll look to include this figure in a future wave if he becomes available to us again. Sting was always regarded as one of the biggest stars to never join WWE, choosing a lengthy career in TNA after WCW folded. He eventually signed in 2014 following a very successful campaign for WWE 2K15, debuting at Survivor Series, losing to Triple H at WrestleMania 31, and then having to retire after suffering a neck injury in his Night of Champions match against Rollins for the WWE title. Geez, Seth, just calm it down with the stiffies. He was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame in 2016. But according to Sting himself, that doesn't mean his in-ring career is over. Since his cervical spinal stenosis surgery and seeing the return of Edge and Daniel Bryan, Sting has said he could return to the ring. WWE even seemed like they were going to relent this year. When PW Insider reported in February there was backstage talk Sting could return for a match at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. The most Saudi Arabia match possible. The timing of the sudden announcement from Mattel, however, implies Sting might have been one of the expensive contracts cut during WWE's mass firings last month. Replying to the Mattel announcement, AEW co-executive Vice President Cody Rhodes tweeted the gif of him listening, and Sting himself has seemingly started watching Dynamite, tweeting just last week, "Good to see Jake the Snake Roberts healthy and back on national TV in a prominent role. One of the all-time great heels," with a video of the two clashing from the past, and then replying to Jake's protege Lance Archer wanting to step in the ring with Sting, "Just glad to see you getting a much-deserved shot in AEW," which Cody also interacted with, reposting Sting's tweet with interested eyes emoji. Sting was incredibly close to Cody's father Dusty Rhodes and is synonymous with the best parts of WCW, something AEW is trying very hard to emulate. Do you think Sting will go to AEW? Let me know in the comments down below because I'll be replying to people from out of quarantine. In recent weeks, Rey Mysterio's name has also been brought up as a potential defection from WWE to AEW. As WrestlingNews.co revealed, Rey's contract expires this September and he hasn't yet re-signed, pointing towards how his son Dominic still hasn't started at the WWE Performance Center, that Mysterio wants a lighter schedule, and his friendship with management in AEW. Ryan Satin prompted further speculation after Money in the Bank, tweeting, "If the rumors are true and Rey Mysterio is possibly on his way out of WWE, killing off his character by throwing him off the roof is certainly a unique exit." Thankfully, Rey wasn't killed at all, as there was a smaller roof just under the bigger roof. Makes sense. Fightful have since reported Rey's WWE deal actually expires in October, while former WWE producer Lance Storm and AEW announcer Jim Ross both hinted Mysterio had actually re-signed a new long-term WWE deal. Following yet another injury angle for Rey on Monday night, where Rollins rammed his eye into the steel steps, "Seth, stop with the stiffies!" Dave Meltzer tweeted, "Not sure if this is an issue, but Mysterio isn't going anywhere. Likely because there was another smaller eye just underneath the main eye." So in summary, it looks likely that Rey will stay with WWE. Vince might not be done with him yet, but he is seemingly done with another Raw star. Thanks for your support on Patreon. Don't have a Shane Cowley, man. Austin Theory has only been on the main roster since WrestleMania, debuting as a last-minute replacement for Andrade in the tag team match against the Street Profits, but now it seems his time with Zelina Vega's Gang of Sexy Men might be up. You're just not sexy enough. With Theory openly arguing with both Andrade and Garza on Raw, and this new report from PW Insider Elite. When Austin Theory debuted at WrestleMania, I was told he was not long for the group. He was there basically to help cover things up in terms of what was needed while Andrade was injured, but the long-term plan was not to keep him with Zelina Vega and friends. Gang of Sexy Men, Mike Johnson, the correct name is Gang of Sexy Men. PW Insider also claimed Vince McMahon didn't know much about Theory before his main roster debut, and the choice to move him to Raw was Paul Heyman's. There has also been talk of moving Theory back to NXT, as the general feeling backstage is that he has a lot of potential, but he needs more experience away from the main roster first. Speaking of people we won't be seeing on the main roster segue, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn hasn't been seen since WrestleMania 36, where he successfully defended against Daniel Bryan. Just like Roman Reigns, Zayn has reportedly decided not to travel to or work any WWE tapings, presumably due to pesky Steve Corino, despite many reports saying there would be no consequences for any talent who opted not to work shows during the pandemic. WWE Backstage revealed last night that Sami Zayn has been stripped of his Intercontinental Championship because he's unable to defend it. A tournament to crown a new champion will begin on this Friday's SmackDown. Instead of crowning an interim champion, like they're doing for the Cruiserweight Championship in NXT, WWE just removed the belt from Zayn entirely, which is inconsistent with their whole no consequences line. They should have just had him defended on Zoom. A new type of match which bonkers Japanese promotion DDT are historically debuting soon, as they've announced the world's first live wrestling match held entirely on Zoom. On the 15th of May, the promotion will be tweeting out the URL to a Zoom meeting, and the first 100 people to join will be able to watch a no fans in attendance match, while they'll provide the crowd noise and applause virtually through the call. Thanks to Google Translate, their announcement tweet awkwardly reads, "Using the web conference service Zoom, the players virtually communicate the match to the fans, and the fans cheer and applaud the fans while watching the match, virtually realizing the mutual communication similar to the venue. It is a revolutionary and interactive attempt to do." I love Japanese awkwardly translated into English. It is a revolutionary and interactive attempt to do. Set your reminder for Quizzlemania 7 tonight by pressing the video on the right, where you'll get to see Chopper Pete shave his beard and possibly his eyebrows for charity, and former WWE star No Way Jose will be competing too. And press the video below that to watch Adam Blombier's latest list, going over the 11 worst wrestling championship belts of all time. Jam that jam belt. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.